ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to School Science. My name's Luke, and this is the post-match reaction for Everton versus Fulham. Everton 0, Fulham 1. Now, going into this game, I'll be honest, I was hopeful that we were going to have Calvert-Lewin back. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case. Sean Dyche didn't feel like he was ready for this particular game, so hopefully he is back for Aston Villa, because if anyone's actually seen the game, as you can tell, we are in kind of dire need for a proper striker. I mean, there was probably about 3 or 4 occasions there we could have went ahead within the first 15 to 20 minutes. Now, just a very quick one. This is going to be a little bit of a rant real quick, but I'd probably say within the first 15 minutes of the first half, we went from, well, this is in my area anyway, we did have a few little pessimists, we'll say, to put it very nicely, kind of being all doom and gloom before any real action has really kicked off. And all I can say is, grow up. Seriously, bloody grow up. I mean, it's Everton at the moment. We're not in a great place, but for crying out loud, I kid you not, it was 15 minutes, and I heard people around me whinging and moaning, saying, "Oh, we've got this Everton this time, so we're going to have another relegation scrap this year, are we?" No, don't be doing that sort of stuff, guys. Come on. It's the first game of the goddamn season. Grow up. Either grow up or just give your season ticket to an actual fan. Seriously, I know diehard Evertonians who would absolutely kill for a season ticket. And there's people like you who were bloody whining and moaning before the game even got into proper flow. Just bugger off if you're going to be like that. Seriously, get behind your team. But yeah, that's that rant over. Let's have a good chat about the team, mate. So, as I said, it was not a great game, to say the very least. It was your typical start of the season sort of game. You know, normally with Everton, we're a very slow burn to sort of kick off. This has always been the case. We don't usually win our first game of the season. In all honesty, we probably lose more than we win or draw. And you know what? That's life. I'm more than willing to scratch this one up as, you know, it's just that. It's the first game of the season. Let's just sweep this one under the rug and get on with it. But I think the lineup itself didn't really heed much confidence to start out. I was kind of scratching my head at it myself, to be honest. We started out with what seemed to be a more of a 4-1-4-1 sort of formation. So we pretty much had Pickford in goal. We had Ashley Young, Tarkowski, Michael Keane, and Nathan Patterson across the back. You had Idrissa Gana Gueye number 6. You then had, and this is the one that kind of got me a little bit. We had Alex Iwobi on the left wing. We had Amadou Onana, Abdoulaye Doucouré, and then James Garner on the right wing. So that one was a little bit, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, in all honesty, I would have thrown caution to the wind, throwing Iwobi back on the right wing, and possibly even give Doucouré sideline for the time being. Put Danjuma on the left wing and had Onana and James Garner in the middle. I would have thought that could have been potentially a better little option, because looking at the game today, Onana, yeah, it's a couple of hiccup moments, but let's be honest, he's still a young player, and he is still finding his feet in the Premier League. It's not going to happen in one season. It takes a couple of seasons to really find your feet properly when it comes to getting grips with the Premier League, because it's an extremely physical league, and it's a league with many different playing varieties. So it's one that is mind-boggling for any player to get into. So I'm more than willing to give him more time. He's a young lad, and this is going to be the same for Youssef when he comes in. When he comes in, he is not going to be hitting the ground running. He is not going to be banging in 3 goals every single game. It's going to take him time to get into the squad. So what's probably going to happen is, I'm going to say the Aston Villa game. Let's look at it from this perspective. Let's say Sean Dyche knows exactly what Neal Maupay is about now. He knows that he's no good. He's basically a bench warmer for the time being. Calvert-Lewin is ready to go again for, say, against Aston Villa. He starts the game. He plays 60 to 70 minutes. He might score a goal. He might not score a goal. He might have a good game. He might have a bad game. Come that 60 to 70 minute mark, brings him off, and brings Schmidt on. That is how it's probably going to be. It'll basically be Calvert-Lewin on for a bit, bring him off, Schmidt comes on. Next game, Calvert-Lewin on for even longer. Schmidt comes on for a little bit. Maybe they switch up a little bit. Say, Amadou Onana's not having a great game. He's got him as number 8 or number 10. Or Doucouré's playing, and he seems to be running out of steam. Bring Doucouré off, bring Schmidt on. So he has it, so it becomes a 4-4-2. It's going to work around like that. That's what's going to happen. That's how you need to sort of do it. You need to bleed them in very slowly. And even then, once, let's say for argument's sake, this season's all done and dusted, Schmidt's come in, he's scored a few goals here and there. Doesn't seem to be the end product yet. Next season, again, we build it back in. It's a building process that can take up to 2 to 3 seasons for players to really find their form. I mean, for crying out loud, Calvert-Lewin, when we got him, we had him at right wing back. We had him everywhere apart from his proper position for nearly 2 to 3 seasons. Because I always remember when Rooney came back, Calvert-Lewin was on the right wing. He was up front. He was midfield. He was everywhere apart from in goal. So it takes some time to get into it. I mean, Calvert-Lewin came into his strides under Ancelotti. That was when he found his strides. And then season after that, started getting injuries and his performance went on a bit of a decline. So we're going to have to look at that for the future of these games. And if that's not the case, unfortunately, we have to sell Calvert-Lewin. Get someone in who is more adequate for the role. So let's say, I mean, at the moment, we're looking at, I believe it's Dia and Noto. Apparently, Noto really wants away from Leeds, so he could be the one who ends up becoming the new number 9. We could even look at Beto, I believe it is, from the Udinese lad. The Portuguese lad from Udinese, sorry. He's another one who could potentially be the forward. We do need a forward and a proper goal-scoring forwards. Like, we've never really replaced Lukaku. That's the biggest thing. And at the moment, I would probably be willing to say if we could get Lukaku on loan, if nudge, nudge, wink, wink, get that old checkbook out, get him on loan. So we'll have to do something. We do need to strike it, to say God's honest truth. But overall, first half of the game, we had our moments. We've had moments. Mopai had a couple of shots where he should have really scored, but he didn't. He ends up either knocking it wide, like within the first, I think it was like 10 minutes. He sent it flying wide. It was very close, but it went wide. And then further on down the line, all he had to do was just twat it at the net rather than at the keeper. Basically, he was pretty much like, the keeper was here. He was here. Net was here. All he had to do was just get it anywhere apart from the keeper, and he hit it into the keeper. And you know what? That's Sunday League stuff. He's a professional, but he's doing the Sunday League stuff. Let's put it like that. But yeah. Overall, the only major gripe I had with the first half is, and everyone has probably already said this as well, on and around the 34th, 35th minute, we had a corner, came in, keeper managed to get his hands on the ball, but as he was landing, James Tarkowski was standing here, he had the defender right behind him, and the keeper landed between him and the defender, dropped the ball, basically bounced the ball off Tarkowski and dropped it. It fell for Michael Keane, and Michael Keane whacked it, and just before the ball goes over the line, the referee blew his whistle and didn't even consult VAR, just said, no, that's a foul on the keeper. It's like, how? Keeper ran into Tarkowski. Tarkowski had his back to him. I'm sorry, are you expecting Tarkowski to have pigeon vision? Do you think he's Richarlison with bloody 360 vision? Can see behind him, in front of him, in the past and the future all simultaneously? I don't think so. But yeah. Don't know where the bloody I was going with that one, but it got a bit weird. Yeah. So with that taken into account, it's just Everton. That's Everton, that. But yeah. Overall, first off, we were doing all right. We had a few moments where we looked like we were going to score. Unfortunately, we didn't score. And the only downside really was progression of play, getting it from defense to attack was fairly slow. We had moments where it was really quick. It was going basically from defense straight to attack, and we looked like we were set on for a goal. Other times, it was basically going around the defense, into the midfield, bounced around the midfield, went back to defense, back to midfield, back to defense, up forwards, back to the midfield, then back again forwards. It just went everywhere apart from in the right direction. And unfortunately, that's sometimes the case. That's football. That is football for you. And we do need to sort of work that out of our system at some point in the future. But overall, first off, we played okay. I'm not going to say we played amazing. I'm not going to say we played great. We played average. I mean, compared to last season, it was average. But yeah, going into it at half time, my main thought was Sean Dyche should turn around and say, right, Marpai, this isn't for you, mate. We're bringing you off half time. Danjuma, you're going to come on. We're going to put you as, say, the sole striker and see where we go from there. Should have done that. Didn't do that. Come out on the second half, and it was basically second first, same as the first sort of thing. We were playing well, so were Fulham. They had moments themselves. We had moments. Fulham, though, they didn't seem to have that bite in the final third, similar to how we were. Now, granted, we were trying to bite, but it was quite a gummy bite, if you get what I mean. But overall, it just wasn't the game for either of us. In all honesty, if it would have been a 0-0 game, I wouldn't have been surprised because neither team really looked like they had too much of an attacking option. And then around the 70th minute, we made substitution, so it was getting a bit late in the game, and Sean Dyche decided to make a substitution after Fulham had made a total of about 3 to 4 substitutions. An interesting one for you. So Mitrovic came on for Fulham at half-time. He went down in their box. He looked like he was getting subbed. On the screen, it said he was getting subbed. He then got to where the byline was and came back on. Now, in that system, Everton's Tannoy system should have said, we are making a correction. Mitrovic is not coming off. He is now staying on. But instead, they just carried on with it, never said anything. And this caused a lot of confusion because I know a lot of people were going on saying, oh no, this is a terrible Fulham team. They don't even have Mitrovic, when Mitrovic is right there with the number 9 shirt. And it's like, hang on. Isn't that Mitrovic right there sitting in the middle of the field? Who's that then? Because that's Mitrovic. If you're saying there's no Mitrovic, why is there a Mitrovic? You know, I do ramble, don't I? This is one thing to take heed of, guys. I will ramble crazily with these post-match reactions. I hope you get used to these guys, because this is probably going to be what the part and parcel is for the foreseeable until I sort of get things into a more cohesive sort of standard, because this is the first one I've done in a fair while. This is how I want to try and, get it all planned out and everything. And I just like to talk, I just enjoy to talk. So if you guys want to just listen to this and just listen to me chat absolute bollocks, hey, enjoy. This is probably running about, let's see, right now, about 13, 14 minutes. I did have a plan in action. I actually had a format set up on here. We had a format set up. It was meant to be talking about players of interest on both teams. So, and this one being Mitrovic and Danjuma for us at the moment. It was going to be first half performance, which we've talked about, the full-time results prior to that, which we've already said at the very beginning. Second half, man of the match. It was basically going to be like that. That has quite graciously gone out the window, isn't it? It's great, isn't it? I love this sort of stuff. I don't have any cohesion with these, but you know what? Maybe around New Year's, when it's getting a bit cold and I just want to get on with it, we might get a little bit more cohesive, and we just do, final results, lineups, players of interest, first half, second half, man of the match, final thoughts. We'll have it all planned out like that. Right now, though, enjoy it, because I'm going to be chatting bollocks for about 20 minutes. But yeah, so once Danjuma had come on, it basically went to pot for about 2 minutes, and unfortunately, Fulham had scored. And what had happened is basically they just found a little break in play. They managed to get a ball into the box. They scrambled across a few people, went across the line, and one of their number 14 pretty much cleaned up from there. And then from there, we were basically just trying to fight a losing battle. Danjuma, when he come on, in all honesty, it's going to take him time to bed into the squad, because this is a very different squad to what it was with Tottenham, and it's a very different squad to what Villarreal is. So he was not exactly playing in his first chosen position. He's a left winger naturally. He's a very forward left winger who likes to try and cut it in and have a crack at goal. But case in point, he is a left winger. So what's more than likely going to happen is when McNeil's back, when he's fit and ready, which is apparently going to be say around the Wolves game, maybe. There's going to be a little change in the format, I'm going to assume. So let's say, best case scenario, 99% of the team is fit and ready to go. What you'll probably have is you're going to have your 4-1-4-1 sort of formation again. However, instead of having, let's say, for argument's sake, Iwobi and James Garner wide, you're going to have Danjuma on the left, McNeil on the right, and Calvert-Lewin as the focal point up top. And what will happen from there is you're going to have wide players that are going to come around and just cross them into him to either get his head on the ball, or they're going to be a little bit, more selfish and say, you know what, actually, I like my odds on this one, and have a crack at it themselves. Right now, that's the main thing we're missing right now. We're just missing someone for that final third. Everything else seems to be reasonably good. I mean, our defense is decent. I mean, in all honesty, instead of having... Michael Keane didn't have a bad game today. He did make a couple of little blunders here and there, but nothing leading to a goal, which normally is the case. When he makes an error, a goal is normally imminent, but he didn't have any of that today. He had a reasonably solid game. Likewise with Tarkowski. Ashley Young played absolutely great for a 38-year-old. He was running up and down that left wing alongside... Sorry, I need to think about this for a sec. Iwobi. He was basically running up that wing alongside Iwobi right the way through from start to finish. And on the right, Nathan Patterson, he had a decent game. He lost possession a couple of times. He had a couple of chances. In the second half, he had a chance to put the ball in. And unfortunately, instead of just doing a nice easy tap in or a side foot in, nice controlled hit, he put everything behind it and the kitchen sink and clattered the crossbar as hard as possible. I'm pretty sure there's probably even a dent in there. So if anyone who works at Goodison can have a look on us. So have a look at the Gladys Street around the top right-hand corner if you're facing the goal. See if there's a dent there, because I'm pretty sure Nathan Patterson left a dent on that. But yeah, as we were progressing with the game, so we decided to bring Lewis Dobbin on for James Garner. The unfortunate thing with James Garner this game, he got absolutely hacked to death against them Fulham players, especially when it came to coming near their box. When he was playing the wide game alongside Nathan Patterson, a lot of times you had a lot of their players really going in for him. They knew that he is a reasonably good player, and they did not want him having much time on the ball at all. So anytime he had the ball, he was either getting dispossessed or they were taking his legs out, and it was really unfortunate to see. But as a whole, I would say everyone had a 6 performance, apart from, say, Neil Mopai and probably say Decore. The two of them probably had like 5.5. Decore has a couple of moments, but in all honesty, he just seems out of his depth a little bit today, and it's unfortunate to see, because when he's good, he is good. So to see him in the situation that he was in is kind of, it's not great. But as a whole, the team did okay. I know a lot of people wanted us to get a decent result today and try and start on a positive, but to be honest, this is Everton for you. We don't normally win our first games of the season. We need to take that into account, and we just need to sort of just pull ourselves back together. Think how we're playing, and when we go to Villa next week, just go for blood. We need to just absolutely go there with the intent of taking scalps. But in any case, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. This is the first video of this season when it comes to the post-match stuff. I would ask for feedback, but I know for a fact a lot of people are going to disagree with what I've said in this, so you're more than welcome to put it in the comment section below. I understand this is the first one, so it is going to be a guarantee that this is all over the place. But you know what? That's how we learn, isn't it? You learn from making your mistakes. So I'm probably going to look over this myself a couple of times and try and, alter things here and there. Oh, very quick one. Man of the match. My man of the match today was James Tarkowski, in all honesty. He had a moment where he could have scored, and unfortunately didn't. He did a fairly weak header. But you know what? Overall, he had a solid game. He was great in defence. He was cutting out play. He was very vocal when it came to things that were just, unfair, when there was players getting brought down and not getting free kicks. He was very vocal about that. He was doing what a captain is meant to do. So for that, I'm giving him the man of the match. But yeah, again, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I'm sorry this is a little bit, too here, there, and everywhere, but you know what? This is how I learn with these sorts of things, and I'll be honest, I enjoy doing this. I like getting in front of the camera and just chatting bollocks. It's fun. But in any case, guys, again, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you all in the next video. Have a great week, and up the fucking toffees.